Hello everyone and welcome to the course overview lecture. I have a quick favor to ask of you. Please don't skip this lecture even if you've already taken one of my courses before. This is just going to be a really useful quick lecture on where to find a lot of important things for the course. So welcome to the course. I'm going to cover the best practices for taking this course, where you can find the notes for this course, how to ask questions to quickly get help, and then a little bit about certification, and then I'm also going to talk about the curriculum for the course. Okay, as far as best practices for the course are concerned, keep in mind that videos can be sped up to 2x speed. They can also be slowed down, so I tend to talk at a pretty steady pace. So me personally, I would actually probably speed up the videos the way I consume information, but maybe if English isn't your first language or you want to slow things down, you can also slow the speed of the videos. You can also check the video playback quality, so there's a little gear setting. If you notice the videos are blurry or you're having any trouble with them, you can always up the quality. All the videos are uploaded in 1080p. Also, you can use the curriculum tab to quickly navigate between lectures. And if you have any other problems with the Udemy platform, maybe the videos are taking too long or they're buffering, you can always email a question to support@udemy.com and they're happy to help you out. Or you can submit a request directly at the Udemy support page. Again, I only make the lectures and the notes and content. I don't actually control the platform. So for platform issues, please go ahead and send an email to support@udemy.com. A lot of great folks there and they're happy to help you out. Two more quick notes as far as best practices for taking the course. I would recommend you always watch the videos and reference the notebooks. TensorFlow and deep learning can be quite a complicated subject, so I try my best to really clarify things during the videos, and then you can always reference the notebooks because the code itself is pretty complex, so you want to make sure that the code you're writing matches the notebooks exactly. Also, I recommend that you always use the course environment file with the provided notebooks. And when I say with the provided notebooks, I don't just mean just copying and paste code from the notebooks. Try running the notebook files directly. It's really easy to make a typo, and a lot of this code goes for many lines, and it's quite complicated because it's a pretty complex topic. So the notes are there for you, so you can always reference them. Okay, so speaking of the notes, where can you find them? Well, the notebooks and all the data files we use are available as a large zip file, and it's a resource link in this lecture. It's also available for you in the very next lecture as a resource link. It's the same file, so whichever one you want, go ahead and download it. It's a pretty large zip file because it includes some larger data sets, so it may take a little bit of time to download. As far as the slides that you're going to see throughout the course, these are all Google Slides, and they're linked to in the first lecture of their respective section. So what I mean by that, if you're looking for the slides for the convolutional neural networks section, you just go to that section's first lecture, and you should see as a resource link the link to the Google Slides. Again, while you're watching this video, you should see like a little blue or some sort of pop-up, a little link, and it should take you to the resources. Okay, now how to ask questions and quickly get help during the course. So the first thing you should do is verify that you ran the provided notebook file from that zip file, and you did it inside the provided environment file that we'll talk about during the installation lecture. All the notebook code has been checked against this provided environment file, so it should all run if you're running that exact notebook in the environment file with no other edits. So keep that in mind. If you're getting any syntax errors, it's probably because you copied and pasted something wrong, or you have a small typo, or you're not running it in the provided environment. So always make sure that you're doing that. All right, so let's quickly go over some steps for getting answers to your questions in a quick and reliable manner. The first thing I would always suggest is that you check that you actually ran the notebook and that you also check the videos. A lot of times in the videos, I make some comments trying to preemptively answer questions that I may think arise. So if you're concerned about a particular section in the notebook, go ahead and see if you can find it in the video when I go over that. I usually make some comments about it. If not, what I would recommend doing is just a quick Google search of whatever error you're getting or whatever question you have. There's usually lots of useful pre-asked questions on Stack Overflow that will cover the same topics or same errors that you're experiencing, and that way you can answer your questions in just a few seconds through a quick Google search. So again, with such a complex topic, Google's your friend, and Stack Overflow is a great resource, and I highly recommend that the first thing you do whenever you have a question is just do a quick Google search or do a search on Stack Overflow. Okay, let's say you still can't find your answer. Well, you can always search the frequently asked questions lecture. That's the very next lecture. Now, those are just general questions. They usually have to do more with the course or getting certified, or where you can find the notes, that sort of thing, or maybe even the installation process. If you have a question that's more specific to maybe how a line in the notebook works and you didn't get your answer either through Stack Overflow or through the videos, then I would recommend that you search previous question and answer posts. We're going to end up having thousands of students in this course and in the Gitter channel as well. So you want to search those question and answer forums to see if your question's already answered there. All right, so let's say you tried all that. You did a Google search, you tried looking on Stack Overflow, you searched the frequently asked questions lecture, you searched the Q&A forums and still can't find an answer. No problem, that's the point of the Q&A forums. So make sure that when you're posting to the Q&A forums, you include your main error or your main point in confusion. Try to make this as clear as possible. And also, it's really helpful if you link to resources or Stack Overflow links that you've already seen. That way you don't accidentally just get a reply to a Stack Overflow link that you've already seen and maybe didn't understand. I would also really recommend that if you're stuck on a particular point in the lecture, that you include a video timestamp. So let's say minute 12 of lecture 45. That way we know what you're referencing. And if necessary, include a screenshot. If your error is pretty strange or it's more of a visual thing that's hard to describe, screenshots really help out a lot. If you have a particular installation issue, make sure you include information about your operating system and the particular procedure you followed. Okay, a quick note on certification. You can check out the resource link for the support page details. Udemy has a support page that goes through the full details of how to get certified after you take the course. And as a quick note, if you have any issues with your certificate, maybe it's taking too long or you just want to change the name, go ahead and email support@udemy.com. Again, they're happy to help you out. I don't actually control anything about the certification. It's all done automatically through Udemy. So support@udemy.com can always help, and they're happy to answer any questions about your certification. Okay, let's quickly describe the course curriculum. Right after this, we're going to talk about the installation and setup of Python and TensorFlow in your environment. Then after that, we're going to do a very quick overview of machine learning, just as a little quick refresher, so you can get your mindset ready for the course. Then we have what we call a crash course section. In that section of the course, we're going to go over things like NumPy, Pandas, and scikit-learn. If you've already taken one of my courses, such as the Python for Data Science and Machine Learning Bootcamp, you may already be familiar with those libraries, so you don't actually need to do the crash course, in which case you can either skip it completely, or if you want to make sure you understand, go ahead and check out the crash course exercises and the solutions just so you can check your understanding. Again, that crash course is a little bit optional depending on what your prior experience is with those libraries. Okay, so you did the crash course, then we're going to move on to an introduction to neural networks. So in that section of the course, we actually don't touch TensorFlow. What we end up doing is we go through the very basics of neural networks. We have a very shallow learning curve there. I don't want to just like rev up the engines and then have you be lost at the very first sight of a neural network. So instead what we do is we have a very slow general introduction to neural networks. And then what's really cool is we manually create a neural network framework using Python that sort of mimics the TensorFlow framework. So actually in that entire section, we don't touch TensorFlow. Instead, we try to build out a little copy of TensorFlow manually. That way, once we actually reach TensorFlow, you have a full and complete understanding. After that section is complete, we then have what I refer to as the TensorFlow sections. And these are the sections of the course that really tackle a particular network topic and show you how you can work with it with TensorFlow. So they typically include a theory lecture, then an implementation example in TensorFlow, and then some sort of exercise for you to follow in TensorFlow. So those are all going to be dependent on whatever topic we're discussing. So you'll have a TensorFlow section on recurrent neural networks, convolutional neural networks, autoencoders, etc. Everything we talked about in the previous video. And last but not least, I just want to give a huge thank you to all the students who have enrolled, not just in this course, but all my courses. It really means a lot to me, and I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to teach you. All right, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and continue on with the rest of the course.